So here at the Freedom Pines podcast, we like to dissect pop culture, watch the rise and fall of celebrities, and talk about the impact that it had personally on me, just as one person here. And today, we're talking about the Kardashians. So welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie AB. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into today's video. Now, here's the thing. You guys know I've been on this journey from leaving the left. I'm very much center-leaning, but I was brainwashed by the left. And one of the things that the left managed to do was convince me, and keep in mind when I say all of this, I know that I have bodily autonomy and that I am my own person, but these are just ways that you can be influenced if you are a vulnerable young person and don't have a solid unit or philosophy or ethics to live by, okay? I was figuring this all out during this time, all right? And I was brainwashed by the feminists to support the Kardashians. So let's talk about it. Okay, so first of all, I was pregnant at the same time as Kim. There is so little pro-mother people in society that when I was pregnant and alone and Kim was pregnant and being made fun of, I very much related to her because I was going through very, very similar things. People thought that my life was ending. I had a baby at 20. I know it's not ideal to have a baby outside of wedlock when you're not ready. I was 20. I wasn't 13. I wasn't 14. Like, I was 20 years old. And I was still being made to be out the town whore, okay, for having a baby, which, by the way, a lot of other people were doing the same thing to make a baby, just not actually running into the luck that I had. And I would say luck because I was lucky. I love my child, okay? But I very much related to Kim. And then I related to all of the times when the tabloids would call them fat and make us feel bad for them. And over time, I started watching them when I was pregnant because I remember my friend showing me like the video of Kourtney pulling Mason out of her and how it was just this amazing thing to watch and experience and how pro-mother she was. It was just awesome. I thought it was so cool. Kourtney was such a crunchy mom and, you know, she pretends to be crunchy now and sell her products like that, but we all know the truth, Kourtney. But I remember in between having my daughter and my son, which, by the way, had children every single year that Kim had children, and that wasn't planned. That just ended up happening. It was crazy. And, like, it honestly made people like me more. I know that sounds so weird, but people liked Kim Kardashian. People were obsessed with Northwest. And then people within my town kind of went from hating me and thinking I was a whore to thinking I was cool because I was really taking care of my baby and doing fun things and showing like good sides of motherhood. And I wasn't an influencer by any means, but I definitely, you know, the whole town knew who I was and they watched everything that I did. So it was a very weird dichotomy because also Beyonce had a baby at the same time, but she wasn't as public. Very, very, very strange times, okay? And then in between my daughter and my son, I was going to the gym. And I wouldn't say that was a Kardashian thing, but I will say that the waist trainer that I bought, because they told me that, they didn't tell us that they got BBLs. No. They told us that they use these waist trainers. And because they use these waist trainers, I bought these waist trainers. Okay? Yeah. I remember Kylie Jenner saying that she was 130 pounds. Okay, 130 to 135 pounds. Her body was all natural. It just got this way because she worked out. I was 175. I was actually 200 and something pounds. Lost a bunch of weight, sat at 175 for a long time, and then went vegan and went from 175 to 135. So you can imagine my dismay and disappointment when all of the curves that you can't see them, naturally have were gone. I wanted to look like Kylie Jenner. I thought I would look like Kylie Jenner. I was 25. Okay, she was 21. I should not have been basing my goal weight off of Kylie Jenner, but I did because I was young and impressionable still, okay? And like, I remember being like, okay, if I'm 130, you know, because I thought when I grew up guys, people were a 00 and literally weighed like 98 pounds, okay? I liked Paris and Nicole, and they were very, very skinny. So looking at Kylie Jenner, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm curvy. If I weigh 130, that should be enough to give me some T&A, okay? Tits and ass. And I should be good. When I tell you I lost everything and looked like a board, I didn't even look like myself anymore. I've always been kind of on the chubbier side with, you know, T&A, okay? I used to be made fun of for it, and then all of a sudden it's a good thing. It's a problem, okay? And I will say that a week before my you-know-what cycle, I very much have extreme body dysmorphia that used to exist all the time. Now it only exists in those couple of days, and thank God, because the way that I can look at myself in the mirror and see something completely different, I know is because of the media that I consumed. I know. It's gotta be that. My mom, very much has the exact same body as me. My mom's always worked out. She's just like I'm just like my mom. I work out. I do what I can to stay healthy and fit. And my mom never was a size 0. My mom had abs and she was not a size 0. Oh, well, maybe she was a size 0. Maybe she'll correct me. I don't know. But like my mom was never one of those stick thin people. She was in high school. Anyways, I didn't know my mom to be a stick thin person. She very much has my body type. So I know, even though my mom was very, I don't think it was her fault either that she had, you know, grew up in even more extremely skinny culture. I do think it was the media. I think it was the media. I think it was my relationships in high school. I remember reading one of my boyfriend's, ex-boyfriend's chat logs one time, and I searched up my name, and the thing was like, oh, so she's chubby like Jamie. So whether it be the culture around us and I that's not even me talking about what is going on right now with kids, because it's even more intense and insane, and you guys need to know about it, and I will be talking about it another time because it's crazy. But back then, things needed to change, and it seemed like the Kardashians were that change. They were setting a different standard. Unfortunately, the standard actually wasn't just embracing your natural curves, which I thought they had because they were Armenian, okay? No, it's getting plastic surgery. And you know what? I'm thankful I wasn't a victim to the lip trend, okay? These are all my natural lips. I've never had Botox, never had filler. And you know what? The only reason I don't is because I had kids and I didn't have money to spend on lip injections or Botox or anything like that. And I'm so glad that I never did that. I'm so glad, because people don't understand that now they just have, the filler doesn't go away. We all thought that the filler was going to dissolve, and we're finding out more and more as the years go on that it is not dissolving. Kylie Jenner looks so and I don't mean to be rude, because I used to think Kylie was the pretty sister out of the two of them. And that sounds so bad to say. I was so young when I said that, but like when I thought that. And I only say that to say that I know that Kylie thought she wasn't the better looking sister and went and got a bunch of plastic surgery. And then you peel that back and you're like, why the fuck was Kris Jenner allowing her to get this surgery? What? She was 16. I remember I never backed down on the fact that they were okay with Kylie Jenner and Tyga dating before she turned 18. And in the States, that's even weirder, because they consider 18 very, very young, and their age of consent for like most things is 21. And Kylie Jenner's like, yeah, I was just casually at 17 years old with Tyga. I couldn't even be mad at her for betraying Kim's friend because I knew she was being shroomed. You guys know what I mean. Shroomed by Tyga, okay? And then the Jordyn Woods, Kylie Jenner, Tristan Thompson, Khloe Kardashian thing happened, where Jordyn Woods, clearly very young, like 18 years old, has her legs draped over Tristan Thompson at a party. In which, by the way, when we learn what these celebrities do at parties, are you guys telling me that Jordyn Woods shouldn't have thought that that was normal behavior? Okay, if that And I will just say, Tristan was the older one, taller one, the one initiating the kiss, okay? And you're still going to sit there and be mad at an 18-year-old when your man has already cheated on you. So I tell you guys this because the feminist veil is, it's dropping, okay? We're all seeing like this family. And then not only that, Kylie Jenner, the younger sister, has to call these older women and be like, can you guys stop making fun of Jordyn Woods on the internet? Like, we're better than this, blah, blah, blah. Feminists where? Feminism where? Why were you not mad at your man more? I would be so disgusted with my husband. Like, and I have a younger sister. If he made out with one of my younger sister's friends, I would hardly, like, obviously I'd be mad at both of them because, like, you know, it's, as long as it's consenting, but, like, I would way more be mad at my husband than my sister's friend who doesn't, you know easily influence is what I'm going to say. So that happened and I was like, oh, I don't really like that. And then 2020 hit. There was a bunch of other things in between here. I would love to do a deep dive when I have a better editor and like insert clips, make dramatic effects, because I would love for people to actually watch what the Kardashians did to the psyche of young women and maybe them watch it someday, because they have had a significant impact on people's mental health, whether they believe it or not. You know, whether they want to believe that, you know, it's not feminism to say that the Kardashians have a curse and all of these different things. You guys have negatively impacted society so much that at some time, I understand you guys are probably used as some sort of method to distract people. But at some time, you're going to have to take ownership, and that might be coming sooner more than later. But anyways, in 2020, when we're all stuck at home, losing our fucking jobs, people not getting healthcare that they need from our evil governments, Kim Kardashian decides to test all of her friends for her birthday and take them to some sort of private island and just basically shows off to all of us their wealth. And that was one of the biggest, I would say, breakups with celebrity culture that we all collectively had. Was not only was it bad enough that you guys did that, but you posted it on social media. That's insane to me. I read the fucking room, and ever since then, they have not ever been able to read the room. And that leads me to my final draw line in the sand, okay? And that was Astroworld. Because you're telling me Kylie Jenner thought it was a good idea to, like, upload a picture of an ambulance going through the crowd while she's standing there with her daughter, pregnant? That's weird enough that all of the Travis Scott and 10 people being unalived at Astroworld happened when she was pregnant with his son. But the fact that they lied about it on their fucking thing, their show, okay? Kendall pretended to be in a different state on the show. Didn't talk about it, didn't do anything for the Kardashians. And I'm not saying they needed to exploit the scenario. They could say in loving memory or something. I don't even know. Cover it on the show, fix it. I understand that there's contracts, there's all these things involved. And you're seriously telling me that you want us to believe that Travis cares about his fans and has not even publicly apologized? Continues to do this horrendous behavior. He was the one that encouraged people to run through the gate. We're going to let the wild ones in, come anyways. Kylie, this is so funny. You guys are done. I have always known that celebrities are evil. I think it helped me remain so myself throughout the years, even when I was on the left, was knowing all of this evil stuff. And even though I was being subconsciously influenced by these people, I still kind of knew better in the back of my mind, if that makes sense. And so when 10 people died at this concert, and these people did not give a flying fuck. They didn't care. They didn't care. They don't care about us. None of these celebrities care about us. And yet we are the ones that give them money. If I were you and you are following Kim Kardashian, I I don't care how much of a guilty pleasure it is. I promise you, your life will be better once you block them on every platform. I still watch some. There's this guy that covers their new show. It's so bad, I literally wouldn't be able to watch it without him commenting on it. Okay? And I don't really even necessarily believe in some sort of Kardashian curse. But Kanye was one of my favorite artists. For some reason, I'm really into like emo, Panic at the Disco, and Kanye West. Those are always my top Spotify artists. And when Kanye West was crying over his experience about Kim wanting to get a shmushmoshman, and everybody's hating Kanye West because, like, I get it, it's sensitive and it sucks because North is going to see that, but it's also very vulnerable, very much his own story, and he should be able to talk about that experience. I never understood why it was such a big deal, except for the fact that North would see it one day, and then, you know, I get by what I've seen that North is very God-driven. I guess, like, when they go places and there's evil stuff there, North is like, that looks evil, that looks Satanist, like, I'm not dealing with you evil people and stuff like that. And so I'm really happy that the religion that Kanye wanted, like Jesus, has been passed down to Northwest. But I worry so much because obviously Kim knows that her ticket to fame is Northwest. And, like, tell me why Kim brought North on a fucking yacht. It literally it makes me want to cry. Why would you bring your daughter on a yacht when we all know what happens on those things? She's 12 years old. That's how old she turned this year, 12. Both her and my daughter are 12 this year. I would never be bringing, and call the paparazzi no less, because that's how things happen. Especially that, when I found out that she calls the paparazzi on herself. You're going to call the paparazzi on yourself with your feet looking like that? Girl. It was like after Astroworld, I kind of just saw how evil they were. I saw how evil they were, how they take advantage of all of our very vulnerable minds. And I said no more. And it's funny because I have a daughter now, and I think I did a good job, because I can't tell when people have plastic surgery. Sometimes it's so extreme you can tell. But my daughter is like, oh, the Kardashians are ugly. They have too much plastic surgery. There's nothing natural about them. They're ugly. And she's not wrong. And she points out to me where she can see the filler in her face and all of the Kylie Jenner. So I gotta say, you know, we grew up in the 2000s, if you're a millennial, with stick figures. And if you know where that stems from, you know where that stems from. And it's not healthy and it's not good. And then we moved to another extreme, which was BBL. It would be nice if we could just honor healthy bodies. Anyways, guys, that's just one of my, I could do like a deeper dive if you guys want, but overall, I went from being brainwashed to supporting the Kardashians, because if you don't support the Kardashians, you're probably not feminist, to having them confirm to me that celebrities are evil. And by the way, Astroworld versus most of the other concerts that I've been to prove to me that some music is evil and some doesn't seem to be evil, okay? And if you're interested in a video on Astroworld, I would love to give one, because that case is haunting still to this day. I blocked Travis Scott's music right away, and I suggest you do too, so you don't give him a single cent of your money. Stop giving these people your social currency with likes and follows. And that's the cherry on top of all of this, is that the stuff that they sell to us is exactly what they think of us. Absolute Okay, so anyways, if you like this video, let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!